Yo, cats. What's up, everybody? It's been a long time. And I apologize for that extremely long time that it's been. But we're back. Can y'all hear me? I think you can hear me. I'm almost positive that I'm audible. Alright, I got everything set up here. It's been a while since I had everything set up, but we're good. Gotta get Miku in the shot. I don't have a mic on that right now, so that's blocking, but yep. Everything is where it should be. Perfect. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Clips of the Week, episode 13. Yeah, 13. That's crazy. Wild. But we're here. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a while. I've been traveling. I've been stressed out, sick, all of that in between, so I haven't been able to stream, but I'm happy to be back. And yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna look at some clips. Yeah. Wow, this clip is unfortunately old enough to use Twitter, but they shouldn't. They should leave that place. They should never ever look at it. One episode closer to what? I'm gonna skip that episode. Hopefully by that time we'll never get to that episode, those two numbers. Listen, the meme is left behind. We don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. Actually, what's next? 14? Crazy how things move along. Yeah, time is crazy. But anyway, good to see y'all, man. Very, very, very happy to be here. Real quick, without saying anything directly, I just want to say, thank y'all. Well, let me move this down because I don't need to see this right here. I just want to say thank y'all so much for supporting me. Thank y'all for having my back. I know there's a lot of things that can get misconstrued and misunderstood along the airwaves, and I'm glad that you all understand the message that I try to put out whenever I'm on here talking or anything, and about how this is bigger than us. You know, I care about the youth. I care about everything going on. Okay. I care about everything going on in our future. Yeah, and I just appreciate you all being here. So, thank you. For those of you who don't know, well, I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't know. It's kind of been all over since last month. I've been talking about it. But if you haven't, I am no longer a exclusive sponsor of John Ledbetter Woodwinds, JL Woodwinds. I still have that saxophone, but I rarely play it. You know, me and John have a very special relationship, so it was kind of hard to part with him, but it's a very good reason that he understands, and I'm very happy that and great and appreciative that he understands. Because you know, the guys over at Ishimori really helped me out. They really were very gracious to give me this brand new saxophone. It's a custom Patrick Bartley model. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the J Music saxophone, the official J Music saxophone, made in Japan. You can see it right there. Made in Japan, with the J Music engraved on the bell. And with my name on the neck, I got to get my face out of the shot so you can see it. You see my name on the neck right there in English, and then my name in Japanese. Stop focusing on my face. Oh my gosh, look at the saxophone, god dang it. It won't focus on the saxophone. Oh my gosh, dude. Let's do this. There, wait. It's getting better. It's too good. Dude. It's too good. Stop, please. Oh my god, hold on. Let me take this neck off. There we go. Wait. Come on. Get away from my eyes. Stop. Oh my god, please. Camera. It's autofocus. Okay, can you see that? Look at that. That's my name right there. Japanese. That's my name in Japanese. All right, fine. I told you. All right. Yeah, CIA is on my behind, dude. And this camera has no AI. This is before that craziness. So this camera is like 7 years old. But it has some of the best IBIS, like in-body image stabilization, and autofocus for its class. It's really amazing. But yeah, I just want to talk about that because it's a very big development for me, and I'm really appreciative of it. So, yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this journey with me. In other news, like you can't see it. I guess you can't, unless I took my shirt off, which is not. I'm not gonna do that. But my lats are coming in, and I feel very nice about it. I can start doing these. I can start doing this. I can start doing this type of pose because like I'm like down. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I can do this to my waist right now and like push my lats out, like right there. I can push my lats out. Ugh, my shoulders. But yeah, I'm feeling, and my shoulders are really sore. I don't know why I just did that. I did that just now. My shoulders are still freaking sore. But the gym is going great, and I'm happy about that. I'm just giving you all the updates right now, basically, because it's been a while. But I'm feeling good about. I don't really recognize myself anymore. It's kind of weird. Boom! Look at that. Look at that line. I love that. I love that. Low carb nation. We got to get these refined sugars out of our diets, man. And all these starches. I'm happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that, bro. In general. Because like this, the amount of health benefits you can get just from doing that. And they, not even just the health benefits, but just like how you feel, bro. My sleep has improved. I actually get tired because I'm not constantly sugar spiking. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like crash and can't get up. I like, yeah, it's amazing. I love it. I freaking love. Yeah, I'm never going back. I've been doing a mixture. I've been doing a hybrid of keto, low carb. I'm not doing keto all the time. I'm doing like, I'd say I mix I do like a full keto. Nowadays I've changed it. I do like a full keto for about a week, and then I go to low carb for like the next like 2 weeks, and I kind of cycle on and off from that. Because I've noticed since January that when I initially went keto, I dropped a crap ton of water weight, and it was amazing. The scale went down like crazy. But because of that, because all the water weight was dropping before the fat, I ended up still having visceral fat that wasn't coming off as well. And I realized that the reason why is because I didn't have enough fiber. So I started eating beans, which have relatively low carb content if you think about it, especially if you don't eat them with rice. But if you don't eat them with rice, you don't get a complete protein. If you eat vegan, which I'm not vegan anymore, I was vegan for 12 years. But since I've been including ground beef into my diet, that's when everything started changing. A nice 80-20. I actually prefer that because it has fats in there. So do vegetables. Yeah, but the difference is there's different. Some vegetables are high in carbs, especially like the starchy root vegetables, right? And they have good fiber. But for my purposes and my weight loss purposes, I prefer to eat like really fibrous, leafy vegetables as opposed to other types of vegetables. So a lot of cabbage. I basically, cabbage is like my lifeblood. I eat cabbage like I eat cabbage every day. I don't think there's been a day since December that I haven't eaten cabbage. It's just like crazy. Keto never worked out to you due to diabetes. That's really interesting because keto is like actually I guess it depends. I'm not told the keto been keeping below 50 carbs a day. That's basic. Well, if you fast with under 50 carbs a day, you're basically doing keto. So, like basically. But that's not the point. The point is that like, man, keeping like my diet has been the most balanced it's ever been in my entire life. I love it. I've tried so many different fad diets, but now just thinking low carb has kept everything in line. And now I've gotten to the point where like my body's metabolism is so on point that now I can have days where I'm just like, I'm going out with friends or whatever, or like on a gig or something like that, and they have like, maybe they have bread or pasta. I can eat that for a day and then be fine. And it doesn't reflect on the scale at all. Doesn't spike my blood sugar. Doesn't do all kind of stuff. As long because I know how little I need, how much my limit is. And I'm cool now. Like I've reached. I'm in the 220s right now, dude. It's crazy. I never thought, dude. I'm freaking 228 right now. Holy crap! When I first reported to y'all, I was 245 at 28% body fat. 27 between 27 is like 27 and a half. Now I'm 228. I'm gonna check my body fat percentage on Thursday. I can't wait. I'm gonna get my update. Last time I got my scan at the like kind of beginning of last month, I was down to 21% body fat at 230. And now my body is full out. Like I got my muscles. I feel good. I'm slimming, and I've only, as far as the scale is concerned, a net loss of 2 pounds, which is a really good sign. Because if my body's changing, but I only lost 2 pounds, well, you know where the rest of that weight is coming from. It's coming from here. So that means my muscles are coming in. So that's good. That means, because I checked my muscle density, and my muscle density, my bone density went up. So no, I haven't done a DEXA scan. I want to do an actual DEXA scan before I go on tour. But I got to see like which one, like any hospitals that provide that near me. But like, bro, yeah, I feel great. It's kind of crazy. And for me, like, I'll give y'all an idea of what my typical day looks like. I basically eat the same thing every day with slight variations, depending on like what's available in the grocery store. Because I only shop at the grocery store, basically period. And so I start my day with a glass of lemon water and creatine every day. I get like I can't count the ounces. Probably like it's a glass like this with approximately this much water in it. Just about this much water in it. I squeeze half a lemon into it. Mix 5 grams of creatine. I mix it up every day. I've been doing that for about 2 months now. I've been doing it every day for 2 months. And then I go to the gym. And days I don't go to the gym, that's fine. I do that when I wake up. And I don't eat. I continue to fast. I fast I do a 14 to 16 hour fast every day. And then I eat 2 meals a day. Does creatine have a taste? No, not if you get the tasteless ones. I prefer I prefer just to get nothing, with none of that in it. Because just as natural as you can get. As you can get with something like creatine. But yeah, I just don't want any additives, no sweeteners, all that kind of stuff like that. So but like I mix it with lemon water. Sometimes if I'm doing cardio, like heavy cardio that day, because I at least walk, but if I'm doing like a heavy cardio session, I'll put some salt in it. Basically. Like I'll do lemon water, creatine, and salt. But on the average day, just lemon water and creatine. I'll do that every morning. And and then I'll go to the gym, then I'll eat. And by that time, I will have woken up either 8 or 9 a.m. And then I'll wake up and say like maybe 2 hours later, I do the creatine lemon water thing. Then I'll go to the gym around like between 12 or 1. Right? It's one of those times. And when I come back, this is what I'll have for my first meal, which is I'll have 3 eggs every day, 3 eggs. Unless I go to the grocery store where my man hooked me up, because I got the seafood guy. I don't even know his name. I've been going there for like past 6-7 months. Ignore I just said that. God dang it. But anyway, yeah, for that amount of time, I've been going to this guy, and yeah, I knew the kids was about to get active when I started saying that. But anyway, yeah, sometimes like I'll go and buy some shrimp from him. He got this like kind of like, they call it Portuguese shrimp. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's really a lot of heavy garlic and like almost curry tasting. It's really delicious. But other than that, I'll have eggs, some kind of protein, usually fish. I try to have seafood in the morning. I love seafood in the daytime. Seafood in the morning and daytime sets me up like nothing. I try to not eat meat in the day. Only seafood, only like pescatarian, vegetarian during the day. That's what I love to do. But I go heavy on the protein at night. So during the day, I eat eggs. I make me a big old cabbage salad, no dressing. I do extra virgin olive oil, red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. That's squeeze it with a quarter of a lemon squeeze. That's my dressing every single day. That's my dressing. Mix that up, and then I have that with the eggs, and then like either a can of sardines, right? Like I always gotta have some sardines at least 3 or 4 times a week. At least 3 or 4 times a week, I have some sardines. Because that joint is that's a nutrient powerhouse right there. And that's been keeping my brain clear. That's been keeping my fat down. Everything has been amazing. I love it. I swear by sardines now. And I always get wild caught. Always get wild caught sardines as much as I can. I either have sardines or have some tuna as well. I have like the tano and olive oil. Yeah, so that'd be my daytime thing. Then at night, I got a picture of it. This is what I'd be making. I make this twice a week. I have this at least 4 to 5 days out of the week. I'm gonna make another batch tomorrow. But let me find it. Those of y'all who know me know you know what I'm about to show you. There it is right there. There go my chili. See that right there? I make a nice thick chili with tomato paste and barbecue sauce. And I do that with a 80-20 ground beef, 2 cans of kidney beans, 3 cans of tomato paste, 1 can of tomato sauce. And then I put like about a quarter bottle of barbecue sauce. That's my secret ingredient. You can't tell nobody that. Bunch of chili powder, some paprika, all the seasons in there. You got it, you know. Cayenne pepper, make it spicy. Sometimes I like chopping the actual chili pepper in there. But like I start with the ground beef, get the onions, green bell pepper, and some some kind of red chili pepper, either like a serrano pepper. Oh my god, serrano peppers, poblano, ooh, or a jalapeno. Jalapeno is like probably my favorite in there, going in there. But yeah, like always, the beans have been. Listen, y'all, I was plateauing at about 233 with like 24% body fat. I was plateauing, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. Like I went up to 26 because like I was dropping water weight out of my muscles, but my visceral fat wasn't going down as much. My subcutaneous fat was starting to go down. I was like, what's going on? But like, what's happening? And man, I started eating beans again. It's like I kept. It was like a free fall. Fiber, regularity every day, at least once a day. Healthy, good, you know, like, you know, and then I wake up feeling great. It's amazing. I stay full the whole night, and I can eat something that tastes good. Like I eat that 4 or 5 days a week. I've been doing that for the past month and a half. Chili, ground beef and beans. That's it. Ooh, hot sauce, that might be good too. I'm gonna try it tomorrow. Use canned tomatoes to the base paste. That's great. I like it thicker. So I realized, like, I actually learned how to do this by accident. I was trying to make a new creation, and it wasn't, like, I was trying to make a new creation, and it ended up, I call it accidental chili. It, like, accidentally ended up being chili. I was like, I want to do some kind of thing with ground beef and beans. I was like, let me throw some tomato paste in there. Yeah, this is turning into chili, isn't it? And but it ended up being, like, the best way. Because I used to do it in a pot. Now I do it in a pan. I make my chili in a big, deep pan. And like almost like I call it chili fry. I call it a fried chili. Because I'm not boiling it. I'm not stewing anything for like a super long time. I'm actually like almost like stir frying it. That joint turned out so freaking good. And then the oils from the ground beef, you can cook. You can use that, the fat that comes out of it to cook the onions and the peppers and all kind of stuff. I used to do corn, but I don't do that because no starches, no refined, no sweet stuff, no super sweet stuff. And the barbecue sauce I use is Stubbs. You know there's 5 grams of sugar per serving in that. That's the only barbecue sauce I use. So I can use it and be totally fine. I can still keep my carbs low per serving. It's amazing. So, and there's 14, it said there's like 15 servings, 14 to 15 servings per bottle. And there's 5 grams of sugar in it. So if we do the math, if I pour about half a bottle of barbecue sauce, yes, half or like 40%. Let's do, we got 14 servings, if I was 7 times 5. Yeah, is this 35? So that's 35 grams of sugar in the entire pot, guys. The entire pot, if I use half a bottle of barbecue sauce. So I found a hack, to give myself stuff that tastes good, easy to follow, and still keeping my carbs under. Because, like, remember, during the day, I'm basically having less than 10 carbs. So my entire day, if you do the beans, the kidney beans per can have a net carb of about 15, 16 grams because it's like 22 total. But then, again, this is the entire can, right? And then 22 total. If you account for the 6 grams of fiber, that's like really like a net of 16. And that's 2 cans, so that's 32. So 32 grams plus 35 grams. 32 plus 32 is 64 plus another. Oh Lord, it's a 67 grams. Plus the onions and the peppers add a negligible amount, like 5 or 6 extra carbs or something. That's a total of like 80 grams of carbs for the entire pot, and I get at least 4 or 5 servings out of it. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that's what I've been on now. That's what I've been on, and it's just amazing. I feel great. I feel better. I mean, like, look at my freaking shoulders. What the heck? Like, what? I'm not shrugging. I'm dropping them. I'm dropping them as far as I can right now. I'm dropping. I'm feeling good. I encourage everybody out there. Just go out there and do something. Everybody always says wait 6 months. Well, I'm at the 6 months. I'm at the 6 month line. I'm a believer. I am a believer. What's my workout split? It depends on my travel schedule, because sometimes that can hurt my what I'm doing, and I try to mix it up. But generally, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some variant of push-pull legs. That's the vibe. With some things mixed in between if I have an extra day. But right now, because I had to push back a training day. So now it's going to be, this week is going to be Tuesday, Thursday, which is my trainer session, and then Saturday. I don't like working on Saturdays because the gym is busy. But luckily it's not that busy where I'm at, which is good. But yeah, so tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll do legs. Thursday, I'll do chest and push. Saturday, I'll do back and biceps, all pull ups. So that's what I do. Yeah, I just don't do the corn. It's just extra. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do the corn. But anyway, since we're currently at 67 viewers, let's start the stream. Well, I like that picking stone. Yeah, it packed on weekday evenings. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, there's a couple of things we can look at today. And actually, what's funny? I have a playlist full of React stuff, like stuff that I wanted to look at. This beautiful playlist. Yeah, let's check out some of these things actually. So maybe we can talk about. We'll start off with some stuff I want to show you, and we'll look at some stuff that might not need to. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's not that serious. It is serious, but it's kind of just more like news. And let's see what Wynton has to say. This is Wynton Marsalis. This video is called Wynton Marsalis shares why he's stepping down as director from Jazz Liga Center. So I think this might be important for people to know if they haven't been in the loop about it. Let's see what he has to say. I saved it and didn't watch it because I want to see in real time if what he's saying here is also what I heard, right? And so we'll see. What is my view on playing a lot of licks and alto keys? I mean, honestly, do what you want, but if you're trying to do that to get language, it's not going to help you get language. It's just going to help you to be fluent. Doing things on all 12 keys helps with fluency. Right? But believe it or not, practicing licks in all 12 keys will not help you play in all 12 keys. Practicing licks in all 12 keys will only help you to play certain things in all 12 keys. Because you need to learn how to hear melodies. So I'm more of an advocate of, if you want to hear in all 12 keys better, transpose melodies in all 12 keys. Learn melodies in all 12 keys. You don't really need to learn licks in all 12 keys, like crazy licks and stuff like that. You can do that if you want to get fluency. But you want to learn how to improvise in all 12 keys, you got to get melodic. You got to get melodic. Anyway, all right. Let's check out this. I have a couple of things in here. So, anyway, let's check this out. All right, can you hear that? All right, it looks like you can hear it, but holy crap, looks like someone put the trumpet up an octave. It's like the sovereign. Anyway, let's check him out. Interesting choice. Is it because it's the morning? Did they tell him to play classical music? Why? This is a video. Wayne Marsalis shares why he's stepping down from Jazz Lincoln Center. The implication is that he's going to start a career in classical music. Sorry, it's just really funny. Like what? Oh wait, yeah, that's absolutely an old clip. But why? Okay, so why? Yeah, because look at his hair. Why did they put this up? Why did they choose this? That's weird. What? Why would they show that as the first thing to represent Wynton? That is so weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but that's just really strange to me. That's really weird. What?
Oh. Are you tingling? Yes, you are. Goosebumps.
Run that back. That's what I'm saying, Flamenco. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it to make it more palatable for the average CBS viewer? It's like, gosh, man, like, dang, bro. Did he have a hand? There's no way he chose that, because that's like as on the nose as you can get it. Come on, man. Like, you talking about America, the history of America, and come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what that feels like? I didn't think I was going to stop the video this early, but it's like, come on, man. What? Really? Run that back. Run that back. Just run that back.
Oh. Are you tingling? Yes, you are. Goosebumps. We welcome you back to CBS.
TV. I've done TV. As y'all, well, maybe most of you all who are new might not know, but yeah, I've done TV. I was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert as like a regular sub. It almost felt like I was in the band for a minute, but never really was. But I was there as a regular sub for a long time, from 2016 to 2020, like as soon as the pandemic hit, and I did like 3 weeks of it in January, and then it just stopped. But just the things. The kind of personality you have to be on TV, it's its own art. I respect it a lot. I will say I respect what it takes to kind of like change yourself. There's an intersection of like, you can't just, if you're like a dry person, you can't suddenly become interesting. You have to be at least halfway interesting to manufacture something that's a little more interesting. There needs to be a halfway point, right? Like a Venn diagram where you move to one side or the other. You can't go from like one extreme to the other that quick. But there's something to be said in my opinion. It's just really weird. The type of people the type of person you have to be to like, you know, it's like a certain personality that like, you know, the average, it's weird. Oh, RC said, okay, you looked it up. That is in fact the CBS theme song. You're just playing the theme song. Okay. Well, even then, dude, could he have played it? He could have. If we're talking about jazz, he could have played it like it was jazz. But whatever. That's just nitpicking. I just think it's funny. But anyway.
CBS Mornings to that familiar sound. That is jazz legend, jazz great. I adore this man, Wynton Marsalis.
Isn't that weird? That's what I'm saying. It's so weird. That is jazz legend, jazz great, playing this classical sounding song. It's just funny to me. I don't know. Is that funny to anybody else? It's really ironic that the face of jazz is playing this classical thing for these. Anyway.
I was recording the song Oblazin. Now, this was back in 2004. His rendition has served as a theme for CBS Sunday Morning ever since, and we are so proud of that.
That's why. So this must have been way back in the day When did he say? What was the year that she said?
Rendition has served as a theme of Blazin. Now, this was back in 2004.
Oh, 2004? Huh? That late? I thought it was like early, like it was his classical career. But like, wow, that's even weirder to me. I don't know. Whatever. It's interesting.
His rendition has served as a theme for CBS Sunday Morning ever since, and we are so proud of that.
There's no way to make the actual trumpet part is classical. There's no way to convert it to jazz. There's no way to convert it to jazz? All right. All right, that's already one. All right, okay, let's keep going. I can keep going. If I learn the whole thing, I could instantly in 2 seconds give you a jazz version. It's Louis Armstrong, a la Louis Armstrong. But that's not what we're here to do. Nah, keep going. No, that's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to do, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I just think it's funny. Like, knowing Wynton as like the most, it's more like, it seems more like, hey, I'm trying to prove a point. That I can do this. Because he knows that no one else in his field could. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Maybe some people, but like him, no. There's a reason why he in 1984 won a Grammy for both in the same year. That's what made him famous amongst the non-jazz crowd. It's the fact that he won a Grammy for both classical and jazz like at the same time. So the reason why this stuff is easy to transcribe is because it's all in one key, diatonic, just scales. If it was like some Ornette solo or something, I don't know. It's different. Thanks, back gonna go shed. All right, I'm glad that inspired you. Let's keep watching. Let's go back to, like, was it like here?
A Blazin. Now, this ever since, and we are so proud of that. They call him the Pied Piper of jazz, and the director of swing. Marsalis has composed a whopping 607 original songs across all the
It's you guys' fault. I swear to God, it's you guys' fault. Somebody's going to notice it. Who's going to point it out? I'm so mad. What? Dude, what the? Why did it have to be this number? Who? Why? Why? This is a psyop. This is a psyop, dude. Bro, it's a psyop. It's a psyop, dude.
The genres. He's also brought jazz to New York City for decades with Jazz at Lincoln Center. He is Jazz at Lincoln Center to me. He's serving as the managing artistic director since founding the institution nearly, listen to this number, 40 years ago. Now Wynton has decided to step down from his post. Let's see how we feel about that. He joins us now for his first TV.
Winton, man. I need to show y'all a picture. Gotta find it. Gotta find it. Gotta find it. It's an old picture. There we go. All right. So, I have a picture. Wait. From the first time I ever met Wynton Marsalis. With my mother. I don't know who that lady is in the back. I have no idea. That's me at 12 years old. This was April 12th, 2005. It's really crazy to... Hey, is Alan Broaddus? Yeah, Alan Broaddus. It's crazy. This and this. This is how I remember him, you know? Like, that was 21 years ago. There's some 21-year-olds in the chat, probably. There's people younger than that. Probably weren't even. There's some of y'all in the chat weren't even. Most of y'all probably weren't even born at that time. He said I wasn't even alive. Yeah, it's like. It's crazy. This is how I remember him. It's crazy. Anyway, just wanted to show y'all that. So, was I as tall as Wynton? Was I as tall as Wynton when I was 12? I guess, yeah, I was pretty tall for my age. I kind of shot up early and then stopped. It kind of sucks. I think I stopped getting tall. Like, I stopped growing at like 13 or 14. So, but. You ascended. Oh my God, picking stuff. You still remember that joke? I mean, I got if you look up the Arsonist, there's some crazy stuff of me playing, but I don't know about like specifically Ornette style, but
The interview since that big announcement. Really glad to have you here,
Right.
Mr. Marsalis.
Great to be here.
So when I first heard the news, a lot of people were going, "No, Wynton, no, say it ain't so."
I love how his voice is exactly the same, but just deeper. it's exactly the same. I love that. It's just basically exactly the same voice. Not really nothing's changed.
So I know a lot went into this decision for you.
Right.
Why did you decide now is the time for you?
But we have so many great younger people coming up. We have great middle age
You're still young
in
too.
our orchestra. Okay. And also us on the board, everybody is really galvanized behind the mission of the institution.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that time.
That's what I mean. Like people having to be TV personalities, like having to say stuff, having to look at like. I know, like, come on, like, you know, say like, oh, you're still young. It's just like, it's like a thing it's like so tacky and corny, but you have to say it. Otherwise, you know, it's
Our orchestra, okay.
See, like,
coming up, we have great middle age
You're still young
in
too.
our orchestra. Okay. And also us on the board, everybody is really galvanized behind the mission of the institution.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that time.
It's that time. Why? I remember.
that time.
I remember walking around there, Wynton, when it was still a construction zone.
Right.
And you were talking about your dream and your vision about what you wanted. Was it everything you wanted it to be?
Yeah,
You
flamenco.
came in early.
I did.
You gave us like a hub, especially with the soul you brought. But yeah, it's more than I ever imagined. You know, everybody was saying we wouldn't get people on the 5th floor. We, of course, worked and killed ourselves to get into our building. If you haven't been, come to the House of Swing on 59th and Broadway, 60th Street and Broadway. And
he was allowed to say that on Sorry, it's kind of weird that he was allowed to say that on air. Like, to me, saying that is weirder. No, not weirder, but like worse than cursing. Like, for him allowed to say that, like, you know, like like KMS basically on TV. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know. I guess because it's not a curse word, he can say that, but that's crazy.
59th and Broadway, 60th Street and Broadway, and it's been greater than I thought.
But I know you say about young people and other people coming in, but what really was it for you? Was it one particular thing? Were you tired? Do you have other things
No,
you
I'm
want
not.
to do?
I'm not tired. It's just that time. Like I feel like our older generation.
Man, one thing y'all gotta understand about Wynton is that he's so cryptic with what he says, and you have to just read between the lines. Like, there's a certain way he talks, and he talks in these parables. Sometimes it's like, sometimes he'll say something and you don't realize what he said till 15 years later. It's so true. Like, it just happens. It's a lot of that stuff has happened with me as I've gotten older. But like, it's that time. It's like, he says it that way on purpose. He says it that way on purpose. He says it that way on purpose so that like it leaves the room for, like, you know, unless he's gonna explain later, there may be things he doesn't want to say, you know. But
No, I'm not. I'm not tired. It's just that time. Like I feel like our older generation, we lack the discipline to transfer power and ability to other people, and we tend to think that what we're doing is more important than what other people can do. And because I was very young, always under much older people, I'm very confident in our and we always work with a wide range of people, not just students, but a board. We have young people also on some of our board is young. And
this is exactly why I respect Wynton, and this is exactly why I always will push back on the hate that he gets from people, specifically because of being able to say something like that. There's a couple of our elders out there that will not think that way. It's a lot of them, actually, as y'all know. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, there's no context, but you know, it's very telling that he's the type of person that would do that, and that's how he's always thought. That's why he's given so much of his time to education, and I've been affected by that. You know, like, a lot of people hate on his opinions about music, but we all have family members where we don't like what they think. We all have family members where we don't agree with their opinion, but we still love them. Why do we live in a time where what someone thinks about something determines their character? Like, what someone's opinion about something, what bearing does that have on their actions? It's really weird that we live in a time where your opinion is who you are. So if Wynton doesn't like hip hop or certain types of fusion music or whatever, does that still take away from the fact that he's given so many kids a future in life, in music? Like, bro, he's bringing culture to like the most ritziest, weirdest place in New York, Midtown. There's a freaking multi-million-dollar jazz institution in the middle of Midtown. Like, it's crazy. I know y'all don't understand how crazy it is. Like, regardless of like what they had to do that, and I have my own thoughts. Y'all know me. Y'all have heard me in private, in public, talk about my thoughts about, you know, institutional jazz. I've said them a lot. But if it's one thing you can't discount, and you have to give credit for, is the fact that it could have been anything else. Think about that. It could have been anything else, y'all. It could have been, I don't know, more corporate BS. But instead it's culture. And there's like the greatest musicians in the world get paid actual money to come and play there. That's great. It's a good thing. I don't like, again, like, out of all the things that I could criticize them for and Wynton for, that's incredible. Thank you, Jacob. It could have not happened. Essentially Ellington. Think of how many people's careers have been made because of Essential Ellington. Because of like getting put into these places so close to these people, and then getting to learn about music, like, you know, our music from like 100 years ago. That's our actual history. It's a lifeblood. It gives us history, and now we can see things. We jazz musicians are not usually like this, unfortunately, but we have the most potential. We just don't always use it. But we have the potential to see the whole spectrum and continuum of our history and our music, to enrich the way we think and feel about culture from then and now into the future. We can do that. We have that. And because of stuff like this, there's a gap that's filled for our young people, that as we go further and further into the future, that gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're getting further and further away from it. So no matter what you think about Wynton's views on hip hop and Weather Report or whatever that he says, think about this contribution to the education, and think about how this, outside of just the actual building of Jazz Lincoln Center, has created a whole nationwide, and actually at this point global, because there's Jazz Lincoln Centers in different places too, initiative for music education, jazz education namely, but music education in general, like a higher learning of education for music. It's great. And that's one thing that we can never take away. And I think that's something that we should think about no matter what we think about these people. We should always look at the actual facts. And, not just because he did that for me, but because there's a whole bunch of people I can name, older than me and younger than me, still going through the program, right? That are this year coming through, in May. And I think that's really incredible. Yeah, ideas. There's people in the Jazz Lincoln Center band, right? There's people in the band that did EE. That's amazing, right? And now they have jobs. It's important. This stuff is important to me, and I think it's great that he did that.
It's not just the young. It's just that we have a nice sweep of age,
right?
That allows us to be confident and comfortable.
I remember an interview that you gave right around the time that Jazz at Lincoln Center was starting, and you were trying to put into context classical music and the classical greats, the Bachs, the Beethoven, the Mozarts, with people like Duke Ellington.
Right.
And you said in this interview that Duke Ellington composed some of the most complex, nuanced music in history. Wynton, so have you.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So have you. And now, to me, you are in the pantheon of the greats, like
true.
Duke Ellington.
It's true.
So what do you do next?
It's not just pandering.
Well, first, just thank you for the praise. But these kind of giants, they come once in a whatever. I'm happy. I always tell people that our orchestra was born when I was 27, 28, with surviving members of Duke Ellington's great band from the 1950s to his death in 74. Mm-hmm. So one year I was asking Dave Berger, hey, could we call Britt Woodman or just people I knew from albums? He said, yeah, we can call them. I thought he was joking. Norris Turney, Jimmy Hamilton, I only heard them on records. The next year, we walked into a rehearsal room, and there's some of the hippest grandpas you ever saw in your life.
Let's go.
Cussing
Let's
us out
go.
about we're playing too loud, teaching us how to play that music, and now, we have that time. I don't put myself in a kind of context like that. I do think Jazz at Lincoln Center has done many great things. We have our radio show, we have our record company, we have our building, we have the largest playable library. We've added 1,200 arrangements to already a huge library of scores we have. We have a lot of resources, all the different 12 education programs, the revival of the orchestra in the style that comes out of the Duke Ellington, Benny Goodman, the kind of great style with new compositions. And we're accepted all over the country. We've done, just the last month, we've been in Texas, we've been in Michigan, we've been everywhere.
Yeah, jazz is one of the most soulful expressions of music. And if you just sit down and listen to any genre, you can hear jazz in it.
Yeah.
What do you see in the future for this art form?
I think in the future, like what my father said, people will listen to it. Mm-hmm. If you listen to it, like what my father said, people will listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the future, like what my father said, people will listen to it. Mm-hmm. If you listen to it, it's like you were talking about the Constitution earlier, right? Yeah. It's a leveling document. I spent a year teaching my jazz students the Constitution. Mm-hmm. Because it requires that you know basic fundamental things about it. And if you don't, it can't work for you. Because those with the most power will naturally abuse those that don't have it, intellectually in every way. Wow. Our music is exactly that way.
Wow.
Right? So when people listen to the music, if they listen to Charlie Parker or Monk or Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, then they will say, damn, I did not understand that there were some people on this level of acuity and understanding who mythologize our country in this profound way.
Nobody talks the way you do.
No.
But he still didn't answer
real.
Vlad's question about what you're going to do.
I'm
Humana.
Feet in the sand. Feet in the sand.
Interesting. I don't know if y'all can see, but this is like the end of the video. I wonder if he says anything.
I'm dedicated in
sand.
my life to music. I will never do. I'm
Okay.
about bringing people together and,
All right.
and recognizing our universal humanism.
And you've been doing
music,
that.
Playing.
You've been doing that your whole life. Legend,
you are one of those
icon.
giants, like
yes,
Vlad said.
and
Yeah.
also pretty hip cat
I don't
on
know
his
about-
own, my man.
I'm gonna still be
Marsalis.
support Jazz at Lincoln Center.
No doubt.
Always,
We will
always.
too.
Thank you very
We
much.
still support
Winton.
you, Winton.
He's really good at this type of stuff. Wynn's also one of the most patient people I've ever met, because yeah, doing that. Yeah, man, I don't know. On the topic of Duke Ellington's members, one of Duke Ellington's last members was a man named Joe Temperley. Now, if you don't know Joe Temperley, first of all, he was Joe Temperley. Second of all, he was my teacher. I loved Joe. And he basically taught me, he unlocked everything for me. And there were 2 phones that I got to record my lessons on. One of them I got to find is somewhere. There's like a backup for it on one of my old hard drives. But first there was this. My old HTC 1S from college. I still think this joint still look like, bro, the Sense clock. Guys, I downloaded a Sense clock to this day, I still have that on. I found a flip clock widget so I can put the freaking flip clock on my phone screen because I really wanted this so bad. I love HTC. Like, this is like, I miss this. I miss this. This was like my favorite. Like, shoot, man. What? And it still worked. It still worked. We still going, yo. We still going. So, but yeah, I wanted to, wow. And I'm still using, to this day, still using Rocket Player. Wow. XDA Developers app. Craigslist app. Oh yeah, that's how I found my couch back in 2014. But I got notes in here from 2013. I got a set list from 2014. What's the set list from January 1st, 2014? What's the set list? Oh, it's a J-Music set list. Whoa. Wow. Tunes to learn. Let's see. Did I learn these tunes? This is my trad list. This is like tunes to learn. I had to learn these tunes. Cause I was like, okay, so I know Chinatown, my Chinatown. I learned Pennies from Heaven. Yeah. Show me a kiss to build a dream on. Of course. Get acquainted with yourself. That's where we're off the show. Okay. And at the Jazz Band Ball, of course, 920 special. Okay. The Darkness on the Delta. So the only ones I don't know very well is Darkness on the Delta and at the Jazz Band Ball. So it's pretty good. So pretty good. So but it's been 13 years. I think I gotta catch up. What is this? 2 bags of marshmallows. Oh, did I have to pick this up from the grocery store? Okay. It's a grocery list. Okay. Humanities essay. I had to do an analysis on the film Duck Soup, and I have notes from it. November 7th, 2013. Okay, I have a note that just says Chris Potter. I wish I was joking. Chris Potter. And Traveling Mercies. Yeah, Marx Brothers. Yeah, Marx Brothers. Miles Davis. Look up. Oh man, dude, I was 20. And again, this is 2013. Look up difference between natural and organic. I was in it. Oh, look, a deck list. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck list from 2013. Hip hop artists. The Fugees, DJ Quick. Okay. Song titles. Ooh, I should make some. Okay, I just found some song titles. I'm not revealing these at all. Nope. Sick. Also, can we take a moment to see how big phones have gotten? This is Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. This is the HTC One S, and it fits like that from the bottom to the top. That's how big phones have gotten. This used to be a big phone. This used to be the type of screen you looked for. You wanted a 4.3-inch screen. This is what you wanted. We looked for this. I just took you back to the 2013 Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. But anyway, that's not the reason why I wanted to open this phone. I wanted to open this phone because I wanted to see if it would show up my voice recorder. I want to see if it'll show up on here because I want to give you a preview of the lessons that I took with Joe Temperley. One of these days, I'm going to post this. I got some old voice memos of songs I was composing. Some songs that have come out already. Like This Is Our Home, Blues for the Living. My small group arrangement of Blues for the Living. Wow, yeah, it's true. Yeah. So on my lesson with Joe, we used to play the Bach flute sonatas. Just one. Bach flute sonata E flat for 2 years straight. Every day. Every single day. And I sat and some of y'all need to realize that it's not just about being a good teacher. Y'all got to work on being good students. I sat there and I copied. I tried my hardest. Whatever I could hear, I was going like, okay, I need to get to this. It's funny is that this was maybe my third or fourth lesson with him. And I was still trying to get it. And I took tenor lessons with him. I took tenor and soprano lessons with Joe. And I'm going to tell y'all when it's Joe and when it's me. Or you can be able to tell because I was only 20, so. And then listening to his stories. I'm gonna go through all these recordings and post them because this is super. This is like the most important stuff to me ever. Oh, Joe, man, just hearing Joe's sound, best man. Let's see, where's the sound coming out of? Oh, Joe, man. Woo. Okay. Can y'all hear that? I can't turn it up. Yeah, sometimes it would just be like that. I just no talking, just waiting, just waiting to hear him, you know. And I would just wait for him to stop. I'm just there, just sitting there with my horn, just waiting, you know, just like stand at attention, you know. And then you just wait for him. He was 86 years old. 86, by the way. He's about 86 years old. Piping me on tenor. than me. I didn't have it yet. Man. Then you messed up here. I was too modern. But I was trying. I love it because when I mess up, because I messed up that time. When Joe mess up, he's just like, when I mess up, he just stops playing. Or he would just stop playing and just look. He would just stop. If I messed up, he would just stop and it's like, yeah, you know what you did. And it's like, let's pick it up again. But man, like I had this for 2 years straight, man. For 2 years. I learned, you know. Like, everything I do is because of Joe, man. Just like, but I wasn't in that yet. I wasn't really in that yet, you know? Like, I couldn't, because I was still in it. I was coming from the, you know. Like, I could do vibrato, but that was my first year playing on the trad scene. That was my first year playing the trad scene, so I wasn't, like, fully invested in it yet. Like, I always loved trad music. I got into the trad scene because I loved the music, but I hadn't really locked in on, like, actually... I hadn't really, like, you know... Like, I didn't really, I needed more time. You know, I needed more time. It's crazy you have all the opera singer articulations. Well, I hope I can find in these lessons, I'm going to go through them to show you where he told me, Because again, like, you know, I gotta finally make that video. Things I learned from Joe Temperley. He told me to look up. He always said, look up. He said, you got sinus cavities up here. I never verified this information, but I just listened to him. Because that's what a lot of young people don't do that. They just, you know, they want to Google everything and be sure they're correct. But I listened to Joe. I listened to what he said, and he said, you got to look up. So I just looked up, and he said, you got to sing like, he would do this to me all the time. And I'm gonna look in the camera to simulate it. He said, you got to look up and sing like an Italian tenor. And he would go, hee, hee. I'm dead. That's what he would do. That's what he would do. He would tell me that. And so I applied all this, like, you know, I've learned that I've learned how to simulate and get that sound without doing exactly the specific things he did. But that's after I've been doing that for like 13 years now. You know? And yeah, that was one of the things. So like, he always told me to think like an Italian tenor. Like, and I would listen to him, like, I'm trying to copy him, right? So by like the last lesson, of course, I'm like in there. We would do that, and we would like play a blues at the end of the lesson. We would improvise. I wonder if there's like some trading at the end. We used to do it all the time. Hey, at the end of this lesson, there's some trading. I can show you that. I can show you guys. Okay, I don't know what we're doing here. Sometimes in the lessons we would just play stuff back and forth for no reason. Like just for no reason. So like I don't know what we're doing, but I'll just play it anyway, and then you can just hear it, I guess. So that's how you play tenor. Here we go. Oh my God. Oh, Sonny. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's and somebody was asking like, was that on the Bundy? Yeah, that was on the Bundy. I didn't get I never had a real tenor in my entire life. I never had a tenor in my entire life until the Ishimori got me this tenor. But yeah, I play. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like people who are just knowing me now. It's like that's something like people who knew me from back in the day, like people in their 30s and older. Like they knew that I was playing a lot of tenor. Matter of fact, like you can ask anybody I went to school with how much I practiced alto when I was in college. Barely at all. I would only practice alto. Like I basically practice alto for class, and I practice alto for like assignments, class, and what else was I doing? For like bands I was in, combo, all that type of stuff. Like, yeah, college, man, I was all about tenor. Especially my freshman year, that alto was in my mouth like outside of class, that alto was in my mouth like once or twice the entire year. Outside of class and sessions and gigs. Practice, tenor. Why do you think? Oh, I don't think this. I know this. Why do you think some people associate you with alto so much that they say stuff when you play tenor? I don't think this. I know this. People are so cliquey when it comes to these instruments for some reason. It's so stupid. It's really weird. They have this kind of weird, like almost like sports or like nationalistic pride for the instrument that they think of like the instruments being like teams. It's so weird. they think of all the instruments being like, oh, you're on the alto team or the tenor team, and I'm just like, what? Like, what do you? It's just a saxophone. It's fun. It's fine. Like, I don't identify with the alto. I just play it the most because because basically after 2013, which is around this time, I started J Music, and I was playing both alto and tenor in J Music, believe it or not. But I started spending a lot of time. I started spending a lot more time copying singers. Ella, Sarah, Anita O'Day, Yumi Uchimura, Shina Ringo. But then when I tried to do like Masafumi Goto from Asian Kung Fu Generation on tenor, I was like, dang, I can't do it. It sucks. I can't do it. But yeah, alto was like kind of like my voice because I played it the most in high school. But like again, tenor was like my secret. It's like my secret mistress. It was like there, like always. It was tenor was the thing that I was really getting with. You know, because it's like it's an instrument that like you can kind of it's a myth that you can kind of pick it up without practicing it and sound good. It's the truth is that you don't have to practice it every day to get a sound out of it. Alto is a different case. Alto is one thing that like if the last saxophone you played the most was tenor, picking up alto after that is going to be very difficult. If the last saxophone you played was alto, well, you can come back to alto in a month and it's fine. But that's the thing. It's just you have to have the muscles trained to be able to like. You need certain muscles to play alto. You need voicing. Voicing on tenor is like optional. It helps. It's gonna make you sound better. But yeah, people are just weird. Like they think of the instruments as like Pokemon. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like it's like that's that thing. Like it's weird. I don't know. Whatever. But yo, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Appreciate it. I respect the Marcus family Marcellus. Their dad taught them a lot. Exactly. Probably just in Maitland can swing before cats, but so many swinging unheard of cats before. Yeah, but that's not the Marcellus's fault though. Like I think it's really important to understand that it's not their fault for that. They played the game right, and they were exceptional. Like, come on, we can't act like Winton and Branford are not exceptional players, and then their brothers as well, Delfeo and Jason. Like, we can't act like they're kind of this actually crazy family from Mars. Like, they're actually all incredible musicians. Absolutely some of the best musicians in the world. So it's not fair to say there's so many other great musicians. Like, it's like, yeah, there were, but they didn't do what they did. It's like, yeah, you know. They think just because you're fighting, you can't be flying type. Yeah, exactly. Well, somebody say Star Raptor? Star Raptor and Quackleval into the chat. But anyway, Joe, man, I'm gonna post these. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna upload this stuff. There's so much cool stuff on here. So much cool stuff on here, man. They're too loyal to their starters. Yeah, they never let them go. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to show that video. So basically, what I think about, in terms of this video, like what I think about the future of Jazz Lincoln Center is that I think it'll be okay because they're basically already set up to, like, they're already set up with the next generation. Like, think about the musicians that are in the band. They're already getting more young musicians to come in and fill the shoes of the retiring or, you know, people who just want to lead the band. You know, like for whatever reason they need to, you know, they're already, you know, already filling those shoes. And it's, so we're gonna see the same thing happen with the management and with the whoever's gonna be at the helm. So, but whatever happens, I hope that it maintains the same focus of keeping the young people first. That's what I hope. So, all right, let's go back. So I kind of want to, do I really want to touch this AI topic right now? Rick Beato put out a video and I'm very curious to watch it. But there's also another video, like he put a video out 5 days ago. But, oh wait, no. No, he didn't. It got added to the playlist 5 days ago.
The reason I'm talking to you
Oh, this was 5 days ago. I was correct. It's 5 days ago. You know what y'all need to see right now? If y'all haven't seen this, everybody needs to see this. That's Joe. That's Joe. That's Joe. Listen to this. This is his main instrument, baritone sax. See, most of y'all hear Barry and y'all think like Ronnie Cuber and all these, great Barry players, but y'all think honking, like super aggressive, wild, funny horn. That ain't what I know. That ain't what I know. This is baritone sax. No, not Jerry Mulligan. No. Joe Temperley. Not Jerry Mulligan. Jerry Mulligan didn't play like this. Joe Temperley. Once again, we're going from the beginning. Joe Temperley. Joe MF and Temperley. Oh my God. I definitely wish people checked out more Joe Temperley. Good God. Oh. God. Oh, bro. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Bro, every time I pick up my freaking saxophone, I'm trying to do that. Every single freaking time, there's at least one moment in my show where I need to get that Joe out. Where I need to get that Joe out. Everything I do, bro, it's like I pick up my. That's what I'm saying. Like when every student I have, I'm always going through the Joe concepts because this is it. This is it. To me, Joe embodies the baritone. Also, specifically because he refuses to play to his dying breath, to the very last day, he refused to play low A Barry sax. He used to always say, "That's not a baritone. It's something else." He used to say that. And I agree with him. It is a different instrument. It's a completely different instrument. The problem is that so many bands write for that low A now. But that low B flat, because like it's a smaller instrument. It's actually like a low B flat baritone looks like a saxophone. A baritone saxophone, a low A baritone saxophone looks like a low A baritone saxophone. It doesn't look like a saxophone. It looks like a two-bax or something. It's interesting. Exactly. Length and opening changes a lot. It's why I had to compromise on this thing. This horn has a high F sharp key on it. I really begged and pleaded. Believe me, I begged and pleaded Ishimori to take it off. They couldn't because it was already drilled in. That's why I still got my JL Woodwind. If I ever am fiending for that no F sharp sound, to have no high F sharp, which I like or I prefer, to not have that whole drill up here, I will do it. Every single thing you do to the saxophone matters. Every single thing. Some things matter less than others, but some things are drastic, like creating more length on the instrument or drilling another hole for air to come out of on the instrument. You know, like it's all different. You know? That's all Joe, bro. Oh man, Patrick, you got such a good tone. That's not my tone. That's the spirit of Joe Temperley, bro. That's Joe, bro. Joe unlocked everything for me. Joe unlocked my whole life. That's Joe, bro. But yeah, I had to give a tribute to Joe because I was thinking about it when I had another. Oh, Ray, you said you still doing the Joe concept? Yep, that's another one of my students in the chat, man. He's awesome. Great player already. He's already a great player. But yeah, I got a student at the new school and I'm running through the etudes with him and I'm feeling like it's such a crazy moment. I'm like, dang, like this is what Joe, like I'm able to keep passing down what Joe taught me, man. It's really awesome. Like, you know, we running them etudes. I'm like, let's do it. And I'm teaching them to have some conviction. Like, listen to Joe. Like, you know. Yeah, Dominic. Yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for listening to Joe. Let's see if something in here I can look at in the. We got a better sax video. Let's see if let's see if Jamie saying something this is from like 2 weeks ago. That's a short. Okay. The Mistaken Jazz Education. When is this from? From a year ago. I might have seen this already. It's a Joel Fromm video, so I might have seen it. I think, but let's check it out anyway.
And I think a lot of jazz education has made the mistake of purporting this idea that you have to be this vacuum cleaner that has to like suck up every permutation of everything that's ever been done. It's just really not true. I would rather students find out what they like and find out where their heart lies and then run after that. If you want to play smooth jazz, play smooth jazz. It's fine. You know, if you want to play really avant-garde stuff, do that. You don't have to know everything to start to have fun as an improviser. Even the people that know just one scale, you can start to improvise with one scale.
Yeah, and you don't need to know every tune to get started having fun. You got to start somewhere.
That's right.
And don't beat yourself up because you don't know everything yet. Every day do a little baby step. You'll eventually just know more. And you'll never know everything anyway.
Okay, so I want to talk about this for a second. On one hand, if we have like a Venn diagram, like if I were to draw a Venn diagram, maybe I should do that on screen for you guys right now. All right, forget it. I'm gonna make a Venn diagram for you guys with my wonderful app Paint.net. I love Paint.net. I still use it. I still refuse to use Photoshop. Okay, all right. Let's see. Can I do a display capture? So, all right, display capture. Nope. I gotta change that. This one. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Okay. So if I were to make a Venn diagram, I'm going to draw one right now. Let's draw two circles. And I can't promise that the circles are going to be good, but they don't need to be good. They just need to be circles. So, all right. Okay. And then we're going to do another one. Again, it doesn't matter the accuracy or whatever. So, okay. Let's center. Oh, weird. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care. It's not centered, but I don't care. So, I'm gonna call this the jazz musicians or jazz professionals Venn diagram, right? That's basically what this is. Jazz professional Venn diagram. Or, you know what? No. Jazz musician Venn diagram. Let's do that. That's better. Jazz musician Venn diagram. So, okay. On this side, let's call this side fun. Let's see how I think about this. No, better. This is a better way to do it. Let's do it like this. Self audience. This is much better. This is better. We're starting with this. In the middle, let's see what we put in the middle here. Self, because there's a certain way I'm thinking about this. Self, audience, let's see. Let's put a couple of things in here. Fun. Okay, fun. Let's make the text smaller. Fulfillment. But you know what? No. Not fulfillment. Satisfaction. Satisfaction. Got fun. Satisfaction. Let's see what else we're gonna do. We could start with this. Let's start with this and add on to it. But basically, what I want you guys to think about is when it comes to playing music and learning how to improvise, there is the idea of playing for yourself and then the idea of playing for the audience. Now, the weird thing about how we teach jazz, and the way I will agree to some extent, but on both sides, is that the way I'll come to the middle about this argument is that we don't do enough full big picture, full circle, kind of like all-inclusive teaching. But it's hard to do that in 4 years, right? If you're an undergraduate degree. But there seems to be a big debate about whether you should be playing for yourself or playing for the audience. But the thing that's crazy is that in the middle of all this is that there's an intersection between both of these that involve both fun and satisfaction. And you can also say success. There's some, I could put that in here, but I don't really like. If I were to do that, maybe a plot, maybe like a plot graph would make more sense to this. Like that would make more sense. It's better. But I'm gonna pretend that this is a plot graph, and I'm gonna put this kind of like here. It's not all the way over here. It's like here. It's like right there, right? And if we were to add some more things to this side, let's add money. Let's add professionalism. Let's add over here expression. Let's add over here stylistic freedom. Let's do all that. This is basically the Venn diagram here that I want to examine. I'm going to keep adding things like this. So the thing that we want to understand, our general goal as jazz musicians should be to not live in one part of this, but to be able to seamlessly move in and out of any of these circles as we want to. We should be like here, right? We should be the title of the Venn diagram. I'm sorry I don't have a better way of explaining this, but we should be the title. because these things, this unfortunately, like if I let me like circle these things. It might be easier so you can like these things. They are not always mutually exclusive. That's why there's a Venn diagram here. But in the concept, they are mutually exclusive. So when Joel in this video says,
find out what they like, and it's just really not true. I would rather students find out what they like and find out where their heart lies, and then run after that. If you want to play
so when he says that, this is true if, and only if, I don't want to say, I can't really say only if, but primarily if this is what you're concerned with and you're not too concerned with this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this. This is going to also be like this, kind of sitting on the outside of that. It's really important for people to understand that if you sit, you have to look at it. You have to look at this. If you sit all the way over here on the, you know what? No, let's look at it this way, just to make it more fair for Joel and everybody. If you sit over on the right side of the Venn diagram exclusively, there's a very low chance that you're gonna actually be able to do these things over here on the left side. Very low chance. You're too far. It's because you're too far over here. If you're stuck only in this all the time, yeah, it's going to be hard. But there's a lot of people that do this, and there's the Venn diagram. For example, if you play for the audience exclusively, you can find joy, fun, right? You can have a lot of fun doing that. You can be very satisfied doing that, and you'll have a lot of success. Why is that not all the way over on the right side? I'll explain later. Why is the longevity not over here? Because technically you could. Sorry, why is longevity not squarely in the middle? Well, that's because you'll have a lot longer of a career if you're constantly playing for the audience. But there's a reason why longevity is not all the way over to the right. There's a reason why it's in the middle, which we'll get to in a second. It'll lead into Joel's point, right? Money. Why did I put it over here and not in the middle? Because if you want to put this, my friends, if you want to put this, if you want to put this over here, if you want to put money on this side, you better get good at writing because you got to write some grants, and more grants. But I'm going to get to that in a second because we're not over there yet. Let's put this back over here, all right? So, again, let's pretend that that's just staying there over on this side. This is the easiest way to make money as a musician. Because you're constantly doing market research. You're constantly doing what is demanded of you without complaint. And you know your market, you know your business, you know what needs to be sold. Right? But the Venn diagram is that can be fun for you. What if you're a giver? What if you're like an acts of service type of love style? Or like, all types of whatever. Maybe that's how you actually find your fun and satisfaction. Well, then great. Success and longevity would be very easy for you. Very easy. I don't think fun is supposed to be circled. Yeah, I'm not circling fun. Absolutely not. Because these are the two seeming like these are the two opposite. These are the two factors that are at odds with each other in the jazz space. They don't have to be, which is why I put a Venn diagram here. They don't have to be. But in the discourse about jazz and about not even just jazz, but about music in general, this is bigger than jazz. This is about like being a professional musician. These are the two things that are generally at odds with itself. Let's go over to the self side for a second. So what does it mean to play for the self? Well, if you play for yourself, primarily yourself, yeah, like I said, you're going to have a hard time making money. Now, I didn't explain what you're going to have a hard time with if you are on the right side. Well, I did kind of say it, but if you are only playing for people forever and you're not giving yourself any time, then you stay on this side, you're going to burn out immediately. It's going to be very bad. If you don't find yourself in the middle here, right? If you don't find yourself having some fun and you're satisfied with doing this and you're only over here, you're in the wrong business, bro. You're in the wrong business. Why are you playing music specifically for money? Why are you trying to game the system? What are you doing? There's way better businesses to make money in. So don't like save yourself the 10 to 15 years of not having anything because you're still practicing to get good. Save that time when you can be building wealth if that's your main concern. But usually people get into music for this reason, the self. Why? Because it feels good. You can express yourself, right? You can express yourself. And also, if you're playing for yourself, guess what? You're not pandering to anybody. So you have stylistic freedom. Also, that's another thing I should put over here. Branding freedom. You are in control of how you market yourself to people. You are in control if you even want to do that. You can do whatever you want, and it's on your time, whatever. This is all for you, baby. It's all you. But here's the thing. There's a Venn diagram to be had. Who says what? Of course are you kidding me? Of course you're gonna have fun. What? Of course you're gonna be everybody's satisfied and fun. They're having fun and sad. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Of course, everyone, if you're playing for yourself, how are you not gonna have fun? How are you not gonna be satisfied? You're cathartic. You're getting everything out. It's amazing. And you're falling right into, not falling, but like you're basically proving the point that they were trying to make, which again, I don't disagree with 100% about, this message. If you want to play smooth jazz, go for it. You want to play free, go for it. Yes, you're going to fit right in this right here. And you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of satisfaction. Why is success all the way over here and not over here? Because again, part of success is you need a little bit of this. That's just how this world works. You know what? I'm gonna be funny, and I'm gonna put this in red. I think that's red. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one in red with an asterisk. And let's put that kind of over here, not all the way out of the circle, but like about right here. Let's put that right there. Let's put that in red, and I'll explain that later. Ron, explain that to you, because it just came to me that we should put that in the circle. Fame. Fame is absolutely in there for a lot of different reasons. Because we're in the internet age. It's not the 1990s anymore. We're in the internet age. We're in control, right? And that's another thing we can put, control. We can put control in here. And put that like right here. Right? So it's very important to understand that if you spend your time dedicating primarily to yourself, then you're not thinking about the audience, really. You're not thinking about what they like. You're not thinking about any linguistic things. You're not thinking about stylistic things. You're not thinking about the common language. You're not thinking about all of that stuff. You're going to be able to do this. Right? But it's going to be a lot harder to get this and this. Now, the reason why longevity is in the middle and not all the way to the right is specifically because, again, if you're only playing for the audience and you're not having fun with what you're doing and you're not really trying to express yourself in any kind of way at any time, you're not going to have a lot of longevity in the business because you're going to burn out. You're going to want to do some things that a lot of people have done, right? Unless you just happen to be that good and that different on your own, doing all this stuff over here, you can exist squarely in the middle of the circle and be forever. Like, it's great. But you need to have some understanding of what is demanded of you to make this, to have this, and to have this. You don't need professional. If you're playing for yourself, you don't need to be professional. You don't need to show up on time. You don't need to respond to emails. You don't need to wear the right clothes. You don't need to talk the right way. You don't need to learn all that. You don't have to do that. You don't. You just don't have to do any of that. And there's no rule that says to be a professional musician that you have to express yourself. Matter of fact, you probably shouldn't do that. I know it sounds weird. Hold on. Wait, what do you mean by that? What is Pat saying? You shouldn't express yourself? Well, take it from the person that does this too much online. Right? I'm over here in this Venn. I'm like, if I were to say where I'm at in the Venn diagram right here, I'm like over here. like maybe between 2013 and 2019, I was like here. A little bit over here. Here. Now, I'm here. That's where I'm at right now. Some might, depending on who you ask in the world, I'm here. I'm either like, I'm here. Some people might say that I'm here. That's what most people in the world think I'm here right now. That's not true. I would say some people, especially my haters, say I'm here. A lot of people think I'm here. And sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it does feel that way sometimes. But I consider myself right here right now. And I can explain that in a minute if you want. But the point I'm trying to make is, while I don't disagree with Joel's message, I think there needs to be a lot of clarity that is not in just this small video. And who knows? Maybe if I click on the full video, maybe I'll see it. I don't know. It's not here in the bio, but hopefully, I'm hoping. I'm going to say this with good faith. I'm hoping that they say, you got to learn your scales. You got to learn your theory. You got to learn, you got to play in big bands or ensembles. You got to learn how to play with other people. You know, those are basic fundamental things. I hope that they say that, because saying if you want to go into smooth jazz, go ahead and do it. If you want to play free and do it, that implies that you have some basic understanding of things that are demanded of you, right? But if you're playing for yourself and you're prioritizing yourself, who says you need to have those fundamentals? Who says you need them? You don't. So I think it's important to clarify. I think it's really important for people to clarify that. Just saying. I just think that's really important to clarify that if you want to have success, that's why it's in the middle. If you want to have success by yourself, right? By yourself on your own terms, then do whatever you want over here. If you want to be a professional musician, because to me, that's what jazz schools are supposed to be training you to do. That's what I'm thinking. I think jazz schools are supposed to be training people to be professional musicians, which means that, yeah, unfortunately, in order to be a jazz musician in this world, you do have to know a lot of things. If you just want to make it into somebody's band and hope that you tour with some person that likes you, I mean, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Hopefully get a good job that's not music related. You know, go get a job or teach or something that's not music related, and just keep doing your thing until somebody calls you because they like you. You're going to have to do that. That's the reality. If you don't want to do all that stuff that's being talked about in the video, like you got to learn this style. Make sure you know swing, bebop, and trap. Make sure there's some modern stuff. Make sure you got some Wayne tunes and Joe tunes, as well as some Charlie Parker tunes, as well as some Miles tunes, as well as some Count Basie, Duke Ellington. Don't get out of that. Make sure you don't neglect that. And make sure you also know some kind of bossa nova tunes, or, you know, some Brazilian music, some Latin music. Make sure you know some pop music, some R&B. If you don't want to learn all that kind of stuff, get a job. I know it sounds weird to say that, but I'm just trying to be real with you guys. This is something that must be said, and it's dangerous to not say it. We absolutely 15,000% must be very clear about this. Now, to be clear to anybody who wants to, you know, take what I say out of context, I know it happens all the time. It's happened already again recently. I'm not throwing shade on this video at all. Like I said, I agree with it on one side of the Venn diagram, or in the middle if we include this stuff into it. Or if we put the caveat, the asterisk that says, yeah, prioritize. If you want to do smooth jazz, just do it. If you want to do this, if you want to do free, just do it. If you do not want gigs in other places, if you do not want gigs in other genres, if you do not want an abundance of work, if you don't care about having an abundance of work, and you only want to do that one thing, you better bust your behind in that field exclusively, and make sure you have some money to put a roof over your head, food in your plate, you know, water running through your faucets, and lights to illuminate your room. Make sure you have something to do that. This is the real talk. You must have something to do that. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you don't want to work a cubicle, you don't want to work a dish shop, whatever, and you say, oh man, I just want to play music. You better freaking learn as much as you can and not complain about it. Shut up. Don't say a single word about what you're doing. Be happy to load up as much information as you can, because otherwise you're not, especially y'all young people, if you're like between 18 and 22, good luck. Are you serious? I'm just going to do this one thing. Like, I'm just going to play this one type of music and that's it. Like, okay, you better be the best cat in your area. You're the only one getting those gigs. There's a market for those gigs, right? That's super important. We must talk about this. To me, it's the most important thing to talk about that doesn't get talked about enough. And yeah, look, yeah, like Burnell said, yeah, where you live matters. People don't talk about it though. Absolutely. You got to move to the place that has that market that you're looking to put yourself in. If it's not in your area, get up and go. Because a lot of people, I'm gonna say something for the people who are stuck. Right? I got a lot of friends, including another friend in the chat. Like Arson. You know, it's a lot of people I know that have made some very difficult moves. Right? Very difficult moves. And I commend them for that. Like, that difficult moves. But because they had to confront with themselves what matters more to me. Let me go to the big camera for this. What matters more? They have to figure out what matters more to me. How I feel or what I want in my life. Do those things like, are they congruent? Are they harmonic? What's the word I'm looking for? Do they get along? Are they in sync? Do they relate to each other? Whatever, right? Or is my comfort more important than my goals? Everybody has to reconcile with that. They have to really think about that. Which one? So if you want to like deal with all this stuff in here, right? If you want to deal with all this stuff in here and you want to let's say you're over here, right now you're over here too much in your home area. Like, if you want to move a little bit more over here, or if you want to get a taste of this over here, you gotta get over your comfort issues. You gotta get out your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take risks. Risks don't have to be inherently dangerous. Most of the time when it comes to this type of stuff, it's not. If you make the right preparations, if you make the correct preparations, meet the right people, keep yourself humble, and keep yourself always learning and meeting people. This doesn't have to, it's not dangerous. The only danger is your own mind at that point. At that point, the only danger is really what you're holding yourself back from. So you got to think about that. That's really important, man. So I guess to kind of like try to wrap this stuff up, what I think needs to be taught in schools more is, which I don't know, maybe it's kind of hard to do this because everybody's into different things in different places. Some people like this style of music, some people like that style of music, whatever. I think on one hand, yeah, I agree that we should be allowing people to do what moves them. We should not be locking people up. We should not be telling people that they can only play this one type of music and they better not be playing that other stuff at home. We're not running a dictatorship in here. No, are you kidding me? I would never have been able to make J Music Ensemble if that was the case. But I could still play some Johnny Hodges. Why? Because that was demanded of me. And I love the music. I learned to appreciate it. It's still a part of me. I love it. But it was also demanded of me. And I did what my teachers told me to do, and I did what my elders told me to do. Yeah, I'm playing video game music. Yeah, I'm playing fusion, R&B, hip-hop, all that kind of stuff. But I can play you some Bird. I can play you some Bird in all 12 keys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can play you some Pops. I can also play you some Luther Vandross. I can play you some Kenny G. I can play you some Bob Mincer and Michael Brecker. I can play you some Wayne, some Joe Henderson. I can name drop for days. I can play you some Chuck Berry and I can play you some Jimi Hendrix. I'll play you Danny and the Juniors. I'll play you the Doors. I just learned as much music as possible for two reasons. I'm on the big screen again. The two main reasons I learned as much music as possible is because, one, it's freaking dang fun, and I love music in general. I have no discriminations against music. All music is great. The second reason is because I want to get paid. Hello. I want to get paid, boy. Come on, some of y'all don't want to get paid. Some of y'all, you just want to be whatever you is. This is real talk. This is real talk, bro. Like, what do you want to do? I didn't want to work a normal job. I didn't feel like I had any skills to do that. I didn't even take the SAT. I didn't. I literally did not take the SAT. I was banking everything I had into my ability to get into Manhattan School of Music. You think I have how spoiled and privileged and weird and just lazy could I be to not take the SAT, throw everything into music school, and then only want to play one style of music. Are you kidding me? Really? Do I think the world wipes my behind for me? Am I entitled to anything? No. Listen, everybody got to work. Literally everyone has to work in some kind of way. You must put in work. If you don't want to do this kind of work, you got to do that kind of work. You don't want to do that kind of work, you want to do that kind of work. Everyone got to work. That's how the world works. It's we work. No pun intended to that, please. You got to work. That's the inevitability of life. That's being an adult. You got to work. So do some work. If you want to get, everybody want to play games. I love games. I look all this stuff on my desk. All this stuff here, I worked for it. I practiced every style of music that I could get that I could learn. So that I could buy this stuff or have it gifted to me. You got to work. That's the real talk. Wonton's response. Okay. What? Yeah, sorry. I just thought it was... Bro, wonton more salad. Winston Morales. Winton soup. Crazy. Wonton more salt, please. Your wonton more salad, dude. But yeah, I hope y'all got something out of that. Hopefully. But anyway. Winston Churchill. But yeah, like, it's really important, y'all. Like, just if you want to play one type, my message to everybody is like, if you want to play one type of music, you need the money for that. The other thing is, like, again, like, to people who only want to play one music, like, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from learning what other people's messages are? Like, from hearing what other people have to say and, like, opening your ears up. I think people who can't be into, like, here's my thing, and I'm just going to say this right now, and I'm not throwing shade at any specific people, but my idea, my general vibe, my general thought is that people who are not hearing is more than notes. Hearing is more than, like, can you hear the 12 tones in the scales? There's more to hearing than that. So my thing is, I guess the more non-confrontational way I can say this is that I think that people who are only into one type of music or can't get with other styles of music, or at least appreciate the beauty in every type of music, that is beautiful, that is. Not all music is of quality, but I'm talking about genre and style, like not caring about the genre or the style, right? People who only locked into that one thing, to me, are either they just caught the bug for one thing and their mind can't think about anything else, or their ears haven't unlocked that hearing ability yet. To me. And I might have just got lucky. That I was exposed to a lot of stuff growing up, and music was just music to me. Like, I had no hierarchy. I had no, this is the best. It's more than anything else. Better than whatever. I just never had that. But I think people who have that, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult life for them once their barriers break down. Kyle, check my page. Just keep scrolling until you find a video. I'm not gonna say what. Just keep scrolling. I know a lot of y'all are new, so it's fine. Welcome. But yeah, I just think your ears got to open up. There's so much music out there, and like all my favorite musicians, the musicians that I can swing the hardest with, get this, the musicians that have like perfect time, that I can swing the hardest with, play the deepest music, go anywhere, those guys listen to everything. The guys that only listen to jazz, they're They don't understand. They don't understand that the jazz musicians did not listen to jazz only. It's like they don't get it. They don't get that the jazz musicians weren't only listening to jazz records back in the day. How do you think we got standards? Be in your time. Be in your time period. Be here. Be present. Don't be lost. Don't be lost. But then like the argument is like, well, music was better back in the day. Really? Okay, so music was just better, way better. Like the older the better, right? I don't see you bumping Scott Joplin. I will. Shoot. Easy Winners? That's my jam, bro. I love Easy Winners, man. That's like my joint. I love Scott Joplin. I don't see all y'all who only like, you only listen to 1945 and that's it? I've had so many. You learn from a piano book? Really? Which one? Easy Winners or Sunflower Slow Drag? That one, that last one. Like, do you know music? Are you about the music or only about your music? Right? Which one are you about? You're about the music or your music? I got into a discussion with people one time that were saying Brad Miller couldn't play bebop because of the other stuff he played. Yeah, we let go of those people. Crazy. Oh my God, that's funny. I don't know who you were talking up to, but man, people are weird. Those are the same people that gave Bird a funny look, were too afraid to confront him when he started playing country music on the jukebox. And he was telling him, listen to the stories. By the way, I'm actually gonna start, since I have the DVDs and I don't have to worry about copyright stuff anymore. I'm gonna start streaming viewings in like the next few months. Like I got a lot of time this month. Man, might do it this month. Who knows? Like I want to start streaming viewings of Ken Burns Jazz with commentary. Just do like weekly viewings of them. Because I think everyone needs to be watching this stuff. I mean, they're great players. That's kind of what made it slightly uncomfortable. Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna hold my tongue on what I was about to say. Maybe some people are screaming, "Yes, Patrick didn't say something," but yeah. Anyway, no, that's music. Can't do that. How Japanese people can't believe these American work rules are real? Huh, interesting. Oh, this Chase video. Huh. Right, that reminds me. I have to get back to Chase. I forgot. I gotta catch up on my DMs. Witten calls out the foolishness no one wants to talk about. Which one should I look at here? Ooh, Billy Taylor, the influence of Jelly Roll Morton. That's kind of nice. Zach Group's video. Who's the real jazz drummer? Oh, that's funny. What the heck? Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris drum battle. It's a low B flat. I remember when this video was posted. This is sax.co.uk, I think. How Low A killed a legend. It's an interesting video. But what else do I listen to? I find the most joy listening to jazz music. I would have to take up the entire stream psychoanalyzing you with interview questions. The short answer is listen to what gives you joy, but don't only listen to what gives you the most joy. Don't become a slave to your emotions. Open yourself up to experiencing joy from many different places. Like, think about the things in life that give you joy. Not all of them give you the same joy all the time, right? Not all of them give you the exact same joy every time. So, you know, one day you might be in mood, even within jazz. Like, do you always listen to the exact same Charlie Parker record every single day for 2 years? I mean, like, if you do, like, wow, like that's deep. Like, I don't really. Are you in prison? Like, like, this is kind of some kind of like deep mental stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not judging, but like there would be some serious, like, I don't know, some development, just something different. Not Charlie Parker prison. I meant like, are you in prison? You smuggling like the one thing that reminds you of home, and it's like sentimental. That's like mental, like serious mental stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have this one. I've only been listening to Anthropology for 15 years. It's the only thing reminding me of what humanity and society is. Like, you know, like, you don't. I hope you're okay. You know, like, most people get in the mood. They have mood playlists, and I'm not the biggest fan of the whole playlist thing sometimes, but I get it. I would never throw shade on those people because I understand that. Yeah, that's how I listen to music too. I just don't do it that way. I have my own playlist where I want to listen to the whole playlist of this one sound, not like one playlist with like 35 different sounds and it's like whiplash back and forth. Like, I can do that, but I sometimes I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. I want to just listen to this. You have one playlist of all your favorites. I mean, like, again, like, I'm assuming you might be young, because I did that kind of thing when I was like 14, 15, 16. Like, but like, maybe you're not, and that's fine. Maybe you're my age or a little younger. I don't know, but I don't do that anymore. Like, because I just know too much music, and my mood is that, like, you know, I listen to music based on just a type of vibe I want to hear at the moment. Like, yeah, what's my vibe right now? What's the mood? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where am I trying to go with this? Am I trying to like walk at a steady pace? Am I trying to walk fast? Am I trying to run? Am I trying to eat? I don't recommend mood playlists. I recommend, if you're new to music, listening to music. Just, you know, your life, just be open to, you don't have to force it, but like, you know, when you get into a relationship, when you break up, when your friend treats you weird, or when you find your best friend, or when you have food you like, don't like, you know, you're moving to a new place. Maybe your parents moved. So much stuff in your life. Try to put on something new when that happens. You'll start to develop you'll start to develop soundtracks to your life. Oh, this makes me feel like this. This music reminds you of this. This is that. You start building associations, you know? No, it's true, Pick and Stone. Yeah, listen to the radio, but don't just listen to pop. Don't listen to iHeartRadio. Listen to AM radio. Listen to all different types of indie radio stations. Listen to like local radio stations, all that kind of stuff. Y'all got to get more in tune with yourself. Anyway, I want to click on one of these things. I'm stuck between this like Japanese work culture video, or we'll keep it on topic as for now. Let's look at this Chase video. Oh, it's this guy? Really? Let me read this description and see if this is worth it. This is like some kind of last month drama. Prominent Barry Harris, educator in open studio, instructor publicly called out my Barry Harris video the most ignorant take on Barry Harris material I've ever seen. 2 days later, he hit sales and explained why. In this video, a breakdown of what my original videos are actually. I don't know if I want to watch this. I don't really care. I'm just gonna be real. Much love to him, but that's not my business. So I don't care. The shape note situation? What is this? This is a 42-minute video. I can't watch this right now. It's way too long. I guess maybe this can be a Winton day. We can talk about we can watch another Winton clip. W clickbait. The shape note situation is crazy. It's about old music station. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not new, right? Yeah, no, I figured it's old drama. I'm not gonna watch that. It's whatever. Let's see how much of this we're gonna watch.
Well, Duke is our greatest composer of the 20th century, American bard, covered more music, recorded 800 albums, over 2,000 compositions, played everywhere in the world, represented us as well as anyone could possibly represent the breadth and diversity of the nation, created an enduring body of music, genius on so many levels, innovative, so many things, blues, harmony, orchestration, how to use solos in the context of a group. I could go on and on and on about him. But the whole thrust of jazz, I grew up in a generation where we didn't play a big band music. We largely played in small bands. I didn't want to play in a big band.
Oh, wait, I watched this. Okay, I'm remembering that I watched this already. I don't think it's fair. It's not a reaction. I did watch this already, and I'm remembering that I watched this already. So to be fair to you guys, it's not exactly a reaction, so I'm not gonna watch this. Let's watch this stupid video. Why am I pulling this up? Should I watch this? Should I should I watch this video? Will I drop my viewership by 40 viewers if I watch this? We need some kind of comedic relief, right? Like, I don't know, man. Somebody, y'all the ones that sent me this on Discord. You trust that people will not get upset? I have no idea what is going on here. Oh, what is the? Let me skim through this. They're eating the dogs and cats. Sleepy Joe, Coconut Mall. Hello? Black Jobs. Smooth Criminal. Behind the Did you have to watch this? I should re-react to the Keith Jarrett Olio. What do you mean re-react? I'm going to watch 30 seconds of this and then determine if I want to continue.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I only needed 9 seconds. I needed 9 seconds. Guys, I needed 9 seconds. Yo, no, don't control W on me. No, don't close tab, dude. Must have been the win. Must have been the win. Must have been the win, dude. Billy Taylor? We love Dr. Billy Taylor. I love Dr. Billy Taylor. 1.3 seconds? No, it was 9 seconds. And then he clicked post. I do not know Kelsey Grant. No. But I did go to MSM. I graduated in 2015. 15 years ago, love it. My senior year.
There are many musicians now.
Wait, 15 years ago was not my senior year of high school. That was my freshman year of college.
there are many musicians now, myself included, who are benefiting from the fact that Tatum was that clear in the manner in which he did, that Duke Ellington was that clear in how he arranged, that Jelly Roll Morton was that clear in how he organized certain things from an earlier period. In my generation, I could look at Jelly Roll Morton, who I saw in Washington once, in person, and it was a life-changing experience for me.
Wow.
I went.
Wow, think about that, man. Wow, man. Got to see Jelly Roll, man. He was with us till 2010, bro. Love, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful, man. Wow.
To hear Jelly Roll Morton at the club on U Street,
U Street. So you must be talking about DC.
It's that space is still there. I was there a few weeks ago, and the space that I'm talking about, I can see it clearly. It doesn't exist as space anymore. It's a fast food place now or something. But the space is there, and upstairs is where Jelly Roll Morton played. Now, I went there with a friend of mine, John Malachi, another pianist, who used to play for Sarah Vaughan and other people, Billy Eckstein. John was a little older than I and a little more experienced than I, and he said to me and a couple of other guys, let's go to hear Jelly Roll Morton. I said, I don't want to hear Jelly Roll Morton. I mean, I'm into Art Tatum and Teddy Wilson. I mean, I'm young. You know, that's the passe. I mean, that's, you know. He said, oh,
see what I just said earlier. Pickenstone, trust me, I know how killing Billy Taylor is. I know how killing Billy Taylor is. But I just want y'all to see how even he was like, I don't want to hear that old stuff. You know, like everybody who's young, y'all think everybody who's young thinks they're gonna be different. Every single generation. I was like that, and then I learned, and I realized, and I got older and realized every single young generation in the history of time thinks they're gonna be the different ones. We're different. We're different. We're different. I'm gonna be different. They were like that. I'm different, and then everybody ended up being the same. Because you can't stop human biology. You can't stop your brain until we start changing. Your brain, your brain is. As soon as your mom give birth to you, you got the same exact brain that we have for the past 100-some years. It's the same brain. What's different is your environment. Same tendencies. Can't stop your DNA. I'm going to be different. I'm going to be different. No, your choices, the choices you make can be different. Your feelings are coded. It's like Calvinistic. That's like Calvinism. John Calvin. Whether you going to heaven or hell is predetermined. Yeah. When you're born, your endocrine system and your feelings, your pancreas, all that kind of stuff, your brain that's decided. It's decided. So you're not going to be that different. Billy Taylor did the old guys who all the young people think they don't understand me. They don't understand the young people. He was like, I don't want to hear Jelly Roll Morton. That old N. You know what I really want to say. IGGA. That old N, I don't want to see. I'm in a bird. You know, it's like every young person's the same, man. It's just how it is. You have to learn how to get out of it. That's all.
Let's go. So we went to hear Jelly Roll Morton, and he came over and looked at these 4 or 5 young guys sitting at a table right by the piano where we can look at him, and so he looks at me and all of us said, "You folks can't play like this," and we couldn't. I mean, it was that simple. We could not play what we were doing. Now the style was corny, it was old, it was nuts, but we couldn't do that. He was sitting playing in a key which for a jazz musician that for me as a jazz musician at that time was awkward. He's playing in E and B and things like that, and that was all. We didn't do that a lot, and I'm saying, So I said, well, let me take another look there. So I left that. That was one of the best lessons that I have ever had in terms of what to listen for in music, because this man sat down and in 5 or 10 minutes showed me about the history of the music that I was attempting to play, and showing me the proper way from his perspective to do it, because he did it clearly, beautifully, and without any hesitation. This was clear. This is music. This is great music. This is fine. You may not like the style, but you can't do that.
But there are some young people who, in that circumstance, might have said, "Yeah, no, I can't do it, and I don't need to do it. I'm playing something completely different. My style. Why do I need to know how to do that?"
Well, fortunately, I had listened enough even then to realize that if you hear a master, you should be able to recognize the mastery in that artistry. And I could. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was from my former teachers or my uncle. I don't know. But I had been taught to recognize the quality of what to listen for in jazz. So before I got to Art Tatum, I knew what to listen for in jazz, because there were things that were melodically, harmonically, and rhythmically imported. If they were not there, it wasn't jazz.
You just know. At a certain point, you just know. Listen to that last bit. This goes into the Venn diagram thing we were talking about.
Things that I knew what to listen for in jazz, because there were things that were melodically, harmonically, and rhythmically imported. If they were not there, it wasn't jazz.
There are things harmonically, rhythmically, melodically that were important, and if they weren't there, it's not jazz. He knew that, so he knew to not knock anything if you don't understand it. You see what I'm saying? Just because you don't understand it, just because your ears aren't there, just because your ears aren't open to that yet, that doesn't mean that it's not good or that you shouldn't be into it. Your ears aren't there yet. You got to be able to thread the needle. If I were to kind of describe my life and my experience with music as it's been up to this point, I think a bit like threading the needle. I forgot all these terms. What's greatest common factor? Largest positive integer that divides a set of numbers without a remainder. Okay. What's the least common denominator? Okay. Every time I'm talking about what I'm trying to talk about, I realize I'm thinking about least common denominator. The smallest common multiple of the denominators in a set of fractions, right? So if I were to use the equivalent, if I use like the analogy of the least common denominator, whenever I'm playing music, I'm thinking of simultaneously, right? Like the smallest possible thing, which means like the least amount of resistance, right? Or the least amount of like the limits, the upper and lower limits. So there's a greatest common factor and the lowest common denominator, and I'm combining those when I'm playing. So like, what is the absolute like least amount, or what is it? Let's see how to think about this. What is the absolute least amount of judgment I can have while still discerning quality? You get what I'm saying? What is the least amount of judgment I can possibly have without throwing out my taste out of the window? I'm constantly trying to break that down. That's the least common denominator for me. The smallest possible amount of judgment. Then the greatest common factor in that sense for me would be, what is the absolute furthest I can push the music? Furthest I can go. The absolute furthest I can go wild, while still keeping the taste there. Which you can think that both of those are similar, but I don't really think they're exactly the same. Because like the whole like how little can I judge can be both for free jazz and for pop music. They're different sides of the spectrum. So when I say pushing the music, I'm talking about going wild. Right? Like how far can I go while still keeping my good judgment? And how little can I judge while still keeping good taste? That is what when you're a kid, it's like here. Well, it depends. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be. Adults are here. Kids, when they start out, are kind of like here. They don't really know nothing yet. Kids are taught. Kids are kind of taught, you know, what's good and what's bad, right? They're taught from their environment. But if you raise a kid with no musical judgment, like they're gonna be into some crazy stuff. But at the same time, like they might form their own conclusions based on their own personality. Some people are like exclusively against pop music, and it will only. I know someone who said they like music that doesn't have a groove. I literally had a friend in college who told me straight up, my senior year of college, they said, "Yeah, I just don't like dance music." So you can be that. That's on the opposite side of the spectrum of someone who only likes dance music, but it's the same coin, right? But what about someone who can, you know, what about being able to go like, you know, appreciate all of it, but also like, can you do both, right? Like, and that comes with me stretching as far as I can go in every direction. Like I've listened to like every kind of music, not literally every. I haven't listened to every recording on the planet. I haven't listened to every single new style, but I know that I have enough music. I have enough enough lack of judgment. How do you say? Like, I have enough openness and humility to music to be able to just, you know, earnestly give music a chance and just accept it. I can just accept it. Like, you know, if it's good, it's good. Like, somebody show me something, I'm just like, yeah, it's like either I like it or I don't. It's not really if it's good or bad. I can determine. I can be listening to this. Yeah, I can be like, yeah, this is killing. I'm not in the mood for it right now, but it's killing. Or it's not killing. It's just that easy. It's not like it's not this genre, so I'm not into it. But a lot of people are like that because like music is like an extension of their personality sometimes. But I make the argument that if music is an extension of your personality, then you probably need to work on expanding your personality. And that can come from a lot of different things. 100% agree with Dr. Billy Taylor. I used to only listen to music with no drums for a while. Yeah, I get it. Listen, there's nothing wrong with phases. We all go through phases. I just think it's really important. Oh yeah, I never talked about LaCroix flavor. This is the guava. This is like definitely my top 5. But yeah, you know, you can go through phases. I remember I went through a lot of phases. And you know, people go through phases. And between 2015 and like 2016, I didn't want a solo. Sorry. Between 2015 and 2017, I didn't really want a solo. I was like only into playing melodies. That's why that one video that got famous before After You've Gone, the Take the A Train video with Wynton, I hated that solo for at least like 8 years. I hated that solo. Like I hated it because I knew how out of the game I was for improvising. I was playing trad the whole time, playing 1 chorus, half chorus solos, 2 chorus if you're lucky. You know, having to play, you know, this perfect sounding melodic stuff for 3-4 years. And that was the main gig I was doing. And I go to play a Wynton and I'm just like, it was like the once or twice a year that I got to do it. And I suddenly got to play. And I'm like, dang, like I just haven't done it. Like I feel weird. But it was necessary because now I spent all that time just digging into melody hardcore, like that. Now I came out of it with a very deep melodic sense. And that was really J-pop's fault because like I became very aware that all the stuff I was playing was not even a fraction as impactful as the stuff I was listening to. And that's a realization I think people have to come to at some point. Like, you have to be real and honest. Like, and for me, that's not scary. Like, a lot of people might get really existential about it. Like, man, like, I'm just not good enough. In my mind, I go, yeah, I'm not good enough. I got to get better. So I'm going to get better. That's like my mindset about it. I've always been that way. And so when I hear something that like, when I heard that, like, yeah, man, this music is making me really cry. And, like, it's taking me places. I just try to make music like that. Like, I try to make music that's very similar to that. And my music, I don't really think has ever made me cry necessarily. I mean, I guess the closest thing is my song Beacon of Hope because I know what it's about. How personal it is to me. But yeah, still to this day, it's always like someone else. I know I'm reverent to the fact that someone else got it. And I want to know what they got. Let me find that. Let me try let me explore what they found. Like, man, they got something. Let me try to get it. And I think I have like an imposter syndrome sometimes when people think that I have that for them. But if people really think that they can find that in my music, the reason why is because I'm finding that in other people's music. So it's like, I'm happy that we can be a part of the cycle, the cycle, you know, like, so, but yeah, it's cool. Man, I wrote these blues during the worst manipulative short relationship I've ever been in. God, I'm not getting into that. It was so bad. So that song is like really important for me, actually. Is there anything I didn't watch from the past? Oh, interesting. There's a TikTok. When did jazz stop becoming dance music? Why is the sound off?
Dance music.
Okay, so we got to refresh this now. All right. I had a teacher in undergrad that told me, you're playing the right stuff, but now I want you, I'm going to assume you meant you, but now I want you to play it like you're ripping my heart out and stomping on it. That's the realest comment I've ever gotten from a classical side. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing that classical musicians have that jazz musicians, classical musicians got a lot of stuff that jazz musicians don't have. But if it's like the biggest thing that classical musicians have that jazz musicians don't have, is their ability to selflessly interpret music. Because jazz musicians, like, part of our culture is like, yeah, we do it our way. This is expressing myself. That's why we do jazz and not classical music. Meanwhile, classical musicians are just like, yo, this is how this song should be played. We got to put this into it. And because they're not improvising with the notes, they might be improvising with their feelings. And that's a very deep thing. And that's why, like, I have a lot of respect for classical musicians and why I love listening to classical music. And why, even though, you know, soloists can play the same piece, they're not always going to play it the same way twice. Like, from person to person. It's very, 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 very important. You say you got a lot out of studying both aspects. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, musicians who come from classical, especially ones that I have to teach in jazz, the thing they have the most trouble with is rhythm and time, because you don't have to you're not required to feel pulse in classical music, because it's not you know, sometimes I've even heard conductors describe the time being loose. you know, it depends on the type of music it is, right? Like the understanding of rhythm, like, you know, being connected to something different than like the dance. So exactly, right? Yeah, the interpretation is the improvisation. And yeah, you're one of the students I was talking about. Yeah, the classical people who did classical music. And I have two other students that were classical saxophonists that coming into jazz. And one of the things that like I have to go into them with is like feeling the time within themselves. Like being able to generate the music, not just interpret it, but you have to generate the music. That's the hard thing for classical musicians because they're not taught to do that. But jazz musicians are taught, you know, just learn which is so weird. It's so, it didn't used to be that way. But it's like, yeah, you know, this is your personal style. This is your personal thing. So you do it how you want it. But like, you know, I've never cared about that. I know now that my interpretation is good. Like I have faith in it specifically because it's not explicitly my own. Wegs, good to see you, bro, and thank you, bro. It's great to see you, man. My man, great to see you, Wegs. But yeah, you know, like it's not. I like to think that it's not my interpretation. I like to think that what I'm hearing, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to expand my ears as much as possible. Like that's my bag. That's my vibe. I'm not putting anything on top of it. I'm listening to it and trying to get exactly that. That's to me the ultimate humility. Is this music is the truth. Not me, the music is the truth. And you get to that, that's everything, man. But let's see what this guy's talking about.
And why is Gen Z, when did jazz stop becoming dance music, and why is Gen Z so damn jiggy with it? During the swing era, jazz was the vessel with which people danced. In fact, your band kind of went bankrupt if you weren't getting people dancing.
I have a semantic thing I want to, maybe I'll talk about this in Cambrian Jazz. I have a semantic nitpick. It's about swing technically being jazz, but not exactly being jazz. But maybe we can get into that later.
And then came the bebop era, which was faster, weirder, and too smart to dance to.
That is true.
Clubs even had listening hours where people couldn't dance and they had
yes
to attentively listen. And as it were, people still danced. Jazz historian Christopher Wells dives into this and says that the youngins of the era still persevered, unbound by the shackles imposed by the genre. See, but these limitations are in a sense the mere existence of a genre that's so damn weird to dance to opens another avenue. Irony.
What? Are we back? For real? All right. I know what my editing project is this week. Okay.
There's this video by Buff Carell on YouTube where he's positively bussing it down to Giant Steps by John Coltrane, and I think a lot of people in the comments see the same thing that I do, that there's this degree of post-ironic bliss that's being afforded by the fact that we're breaking through a genre that's too intellectual for dance.
Dude, this is so crazy every time I see Buff Carell, bro. I can't, like, this is it's too much, dude.
First person I saw breaking the shackles of jazz dance was at YD Bus.
What?
It down in front of a Waffle House to Errol Gardner's Misty. And this one isn't.
What? No, man. This is the equivalent of this is like the equivalent of spamming. You're just spamming the lick. This is like spamming the lick. That's what this feels like.
At YD bussing it down in front of a Waffle House to Errol Gardner's Misty. And this one is,
I mean, it's deep. It's deep.
Isn't bebop, but I still think it's cool that we're adventuring past what is normal to dance to.
Okay, then it got interesting. I was like, what was that? No, but Buff Corell is just Dolphy in it. He's just too deep.
And we're even seeing modern ways of movement being adapted to this. There's this video from Chloe Reynolds doing freestyle tricking along to Billie Holiday's Solitude. I think it's really beautiful that we're finding any way we can to express ourselves to music that's meaningful to us.
You know, sometimes we look back at history to learn how we can do things differently or change our actions, but it's great to look back and find a comfort in something unexpected that even centuries apart, we find community and shared experiences here.
Man, real talk though? Yeah, that's an awesome video. That's an awesome little video, man. Wow, that was actually an awesome little video. I hate that makes me want to actually use TikTok. I hate that. I made one like 3 years ago and then didn't want to use it. So I'd never use it. But that was a good video. That was legitimately a good video. And it does bring up a lot of points. I want to see if I can find it. Is it on my computer? Let's see. It's not in here. No, it's not in here either. Come on, it's got to be somewhere, yo. Nope. Really, it's not here either? It's got to be on my laptop. It's got to be on my laptop. My Sunday jazz school notes. I'm gonna start making like paid lectures, like webinars, where I break down certain concepts. Because the reason why I'm making them paid is because I actually did work on them with like a presentation. Like I did them for free on Twitch a long time ago, but I've since then refined them and put in better examples and stuff like that. The one I want to do that I want to talk about is the split in jazz. Like when jazz split into, like it basically answering his question. Like when did jazz stop becoming dance music? But that's a little more convoluted. So what I was trying to say, the reason why I said semantic thing about swing and jazz is because jazz evolved into swing, but swing is not jazz. Swing is swing. Swing music is its like own specific thing that is now part of the, what's the word? Retrospective term, jazz tradition. Part of that retrospectively. It's part of what we now retrospectively call jazz. But at the time, it's not. So it's very important. Here's the thing, like I don't like the flipping videos TikTok thing. I don't like doing that. So I don't even do that in Instagram or YouTube Shorts I hate that on Twitter. When you play a video, it automatically moves to the next one. I hate that so much. So I've been using Twitter a lot less now. But like, yeah, I don't even like doing that. So like, I don't think TikTok will grab me because I hate that. I hate swiping. I can't stand it. It's weird. I didn't grow up like that. I don't like it. So I just don't do it. So I don't think it would grab me. I meant like I would use it to like, because what I normally do is I like finding a video. Like if I'm looking at reels, I'll find a video. And I like the video and I just move on from the video in my feed to something. I don't stay in the thing and perpetually scroll. Because then it feels like there's no, I like the feed better because it breaks it up. It's not all the same content all the time. Sometimes it's a post that my friend makes. Sometimes it's like some news. Sometimes it's a funny reel. Sometimes it's like a series of reels. And I'll click on that one, get out, click on it, and then I can break it up. That way I'm not stuck forever. Like I'm never on Instagram scrolling things, looking at it for more than like 10, 15 minutes at a time. If that. Sometimes that's too long, actually. Like the only time I'm on Instagram for longer than that is when I'm, checking notifications and making comments and like checking my DMs. So I don't think TikTok will grab me like that. Personally. Like it's just not in my personality to be like that. But anyway, dang. That's kind of a nice video to end on, I think. I think that's a good video. Because that was very positive. It reminded me to do my video of Buff Corral to put it up. But thank y'all so much for tuning in this week, y'all. We're gonna be back again next week. We're good. There's gonna be more streams. If y'all want, like, I'm thinking I could make the transcription Tuesday, transcription Thursday, whatever. I can make that a regular thing where I transcribe something every week. Or show y'all how I transcribe and do that kind of stuff. I'm also thinking about I'm gonna be doing a collaboration with Phil Wilkinson soon, where I will just play over basically like all of his tunes, right? Give y'all sample solos, my improvisation and stuff like that, and just put them up. Of course, Patreon will be getting batches of those, like batches of maybe like 5 or 10, and before the rest of them go on YouTube. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff, and maybe I'll test that out. I'll probably test that out this week. That'd be a good thing to do, just to see how it does. Like maybe this Wednesday, one of these days. So, but yeah, either way, we're back in it, because I got a lot of things to announce. A lot of stuff happened. I'm just not gonna be around in April almost at all. April and May is gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna try to make a lot of videos to keep you all going while I'm not here, so I can just interact from my phone while I'm not being on the stream. But this month we still got a whole bunch of stuff we're doing. Also, I'm going to make a new Instagram page, by the way. I forgot to say that. I was talking with a friend of mine about making a new Instagram page called Cherokee Daily. Every day, just the content is one chorus of Cherokee every single day. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna be great. I can just record like 30 choruses of Cherokee and then just post them. Like in one day, record 30 choruses of Cherokee, post one every day. And people could study it. It can be like how many different ways can we play Cherokee, right? Like how many different, like just improvising every day. Every day it gets more and more demented. That's hilarious. That'd be funny, but cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Y'all have approved it. I'm going to do it. By year 3. All right, guys, to end off, I'll do Cherokee One Breath Challenge. Sorry, not one breath. Let me call it correct. One line challenge. Because I think a lot of people didn't get the memo. When I meant one breath, I meant one line. One line. Thank you, everybody. Join the Discord. Somebody post a link. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.